Hello everyone, welcome back to Weaving Web3. I'm here with Carl from Base, and we'll be chatting about why Base is an amazing chain, and as well as the tech behind it. So, could you give me a bit more of an intro about yourself?
Hey, I'm Carl Fluke. I'm based in Indianapolis in the Midwest. I've been working on Base since we started our testnet. So it's been super fun to work with a small team and actually bring Coinbase for their own chain.
No, that's awesome. Like, I want to say straight up front, for me, in any financial system, I hate gas fees. And I don't believe a real financial system or blockchain should be anything more than 10 cents. And I found from using Base and like learning with your community, it is the cheapest gas fees and one of the best user experiences I've had. So how have you been able to do that?
Yeah, so one of our distinguished engineers, Roberto Bayardo, has actually been working with the Ethereum Foundation for over a year now on 4844. And so he was part of that upgrade on Wednesday this week. And then the OP stack, so it is a partnership with Optimism, Zora, and Base. We upgrade together. Like 3 hours after that, we could push our Ecotone upgrade. That also included that blob upgrade for 4844. So it was super awesome. I had a little bit of doubt that the gas optimization was as good as they said. But when it went live, I think like regular sends went down to half a penny.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is NFT mints were a cent. So I love to see it, and it helps pave the way for things like smart contract wallets to also become even more affordable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And become the default.
Yeah, like the crazy thing is, like when you look at other chains, like it is still sometimes $1, $2 to make a swap, and that's just crazy for me that people are willing to spend that money. I know it's all speculation and stuff, but like that is not financial system. Like in TradeFi, we need to. It's basically feeless, essentially. Like you're paying like maybe a few cents as well, but it is that approach. How are you going to entice the normal people to come into your ecosystem if you're spending hundreds of dollars? I spent thousands of dollars in gas fees, stupidly, not stupidly, but at the end of the day, you need to do the transaction. But is decentralization worth that cost? And
yeah, I think for Base team, definitely we want to drive more on-chain utility. So things where like DAOs, where it requires $40 or $100 to vote, or if you're voting to, or you're trying to buy a new NFT to join a DAO, you could be spending $100 on L1 to buy that NFT. And now that we can switch that to be 2 cents, 3 cents, it actually changes the whole dynamics of like, it may be worth it for the DAO to pay for that gas vote. Because if I'm spending $20 to join, that funds how many votes in the future. So I'm looking forward to some of those dynamics changing.
No, absolutely. So what could you do on an optimistic rollup that you could not do, let's say, on a ZK Sync rollup? Oh, sorry, not ZK Sync, but on a ZK rollup or like mainnet. Like, what is the thing that is tangible that you can access on your chain?
Yeah. So like in a product or like a long-term product, I always think about like a one-way versus a two-way door. Can I make a decision and walk back from it? So you can have an optimistic rollup and upgrade it to be ZK, but you can't have a ZK rollup and take advantage of optimistic rollup. So there currently actually is 2 active grants that are being worked on. Risk Zero and O1 Labs both are working on a ZK module for the OP stack. And Base upgrading to a ZK rollup is still possible in the future, and it'll probably will happen when it's ready.
Oh, wow.
So the main reason was very much so just that we know we can upgrade in the future, but if we chose ZK to start, we know that there was no walking back from that choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like for me, like my problem, let's say, with the whole game theory of optimistic rollups is that 7-day wait period for certain chains, and like 7 days to not have access to your money is quite scary. And that's why instead I would, let's say, bridge it to another L2 and then send it to a centralized exchange. So I like, as much as for some people that may be quite hard to understand, because there's quite a bit of technicality involved, it is, I guess, something that you can work forward to afterwards when you get your ZK rollup.
Yep. Base also has another path that's available to us besides those 2. Is in an optimistic rollup, you also can have challenger proofs. That is live in testnet now. And it may not make our next, the next OP stack upgrade is called Vajord. It may not make that one, but it'll make the one after. And that could help us reduce that 7-day window down to a day or 12 hours.
But that's like normal trade fine. Basically, send a bank sometimes to international, it takes a day or 2, so it seems perfectly like normal.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So with Base, why? What is the ecosystem? Why would you want to build on Base?
Yeah, so I think the biggest part for the Base team is we chose to partner with Optimism in the OP stack. It's MIT licensed, So if one day Optimism wants to close source, we can still take where they chose to do that and continue forward. All of Base's contributions at the chain level are also MIT licensed, so we became the second core contributor to the OP stack. So all improvements we make are open source. If somebody wants to join the superchain, they can. So definitely those were like fundamental goals of the Base team. As far as additional reasons for like a developer to choose to build on Base, a lot of it is the partner ecosystem and the distribution that Coinbase can provide and support. So I think one of the things we did really well for Base's launch was we had things like Uniswap and OpenSea and Aave and Compound and a bunch of the big L1 providers available on day one. And that kind of made the transition to get new users to Base drastically more familiar for them.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Like when you're approaching a new technology, having giants like the OGs that are trustworthy, let's say corporations and stuff, joining your Base definitely makes it more legitimate. And like for me, I always worry like when there's like a random project launching on that I don't even know, and I'm scared to interact with it because there's so many rugs and like because the whole anonymity in the space kind of prevents many people from joining it. But now, like you said, there's Uniswap as well as like Aerodrome, who what's the partner company of Aerodrome?
Velodrome is
Velodrome, yeah, from Optimism. So I knew I could trust
group.
that project and stuff like that. So like it just gives me lots of hope and like validity to the project itself. And for those that may not know, would you be able to explain what the actual superchain is?
So Optimism Collective has this law of chains. So 15% of Base's revenue from the sequencer actually on chain goes directly to the Optimism Collective. So that is kind of the fee of entry, and that kind of guarantees that you are aligned with the OP Collective's mission. It also gives you access to Optimism's retroactive public goods funding. So I think they've done it 4 times. Base so far has granted 45 million of OP tokens to contributors that we thought helped grow the ecosystem, and will be part of that RPGF funding in the future. So it's kind of like a flywheel. If you've ever seen Ben Jones do his superchain hype, it's the more sequencer revenue, the more an RPGF, the more public good tools, and that cycle continues.
No, that's awesome. Like, and to let's say kind of finish off, why do you love Base? Like, what brought you to this ecosystem compared to maybe a different type of chain?
I think that it was a balance that we had some of the big industry partners that we could agree with, but also it is a permissionless network. So things like the Farcaster launch has been super fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that for sure.
Yeah, frames have been fun. Being able to buy Girl Scout cookies on chain was fun. On-chain summer, last August, the whole month we had 1 partner spotlight per day. We're going to do that again this upcoming summer. So if you want to build on that, now is the time to start building it.
There we go.
So it is fun to see both big industry partners and also be able to see people create net new things, and the fact that we can like retroactively think they're cool and help support them.
That's awesome. I'm really excited. You've got me really excited for like the whole Base ecosystem because I've been part of it. I guess from testnet as well. I've been like having fun. We both all did it from our group. But is there one thing key takeaway you could give that you would be like, why would you go on Base?
The thing I'm personally most excited about is account abstraction and using smart contract wallets by default. In our next upgrade, Fjord, we're including like passkey validation built as a precompile on the chain. So it should make it so EOA signing and smart contract wallet signing should be very close. Yeah. And that kind of gives you some wallet superpowers. I think more and more wallets are starting to move that way. And I think by the end of the year, that is truly going to be the default for new users.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I personally am excited for that because there's like a lot of security benefits that you can gain from that.
Absolutely. And sorry, as you said, abstraction, will you be able to pay in USDC or USDT at all?
Yes, so part of the account abstraction, you can do that today with mini paymasters, is you can pay with any ERC20. So I'm looking forward to multiple ways of that. I'm actually looking forward to being able to go pay a person $20 a month and just know that they're paying my gas until I run out.
That's amazing.
With a credit card, right? So it's off-chain. I'm also looking forward to some games to where they create a game economy to where I am paying gas in their ERC20 game token, and they're managing their game token to ETH for me. And I don't have to worry about that. I don't expect Web 2 users to worry about it, and I'm looking forward to that becoming less and less of a concern.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for having this conversation, and I guess we'll see some of you guys at ETH Bookfest and maybe have a version 2.
Awesome.
Thank you.